What's going on? It's your host, Kyle Leaf Wins in the Making Better Track Show. Join with my co-host, Daysun. Give him a hand. Civil Days Music. Follow him now. Links in description. You heard? Listen, are you excited about this new MPC launch? Let's talk about it. Let's get straight to the point right now. Let's see what all these people are talking about, Daysun. Let's see what they're talking about. Like real talk, I saw it. It dropped today. Here's what Akai is talking about. Let's go. Let's talk about this real quick. Let's see this. 48 gig storage looks 4 gigs of RAM. Okay. Same touchscreen as the X. Okay. Beautiful colorway, but looking like my X right now. Okay. The beat is kind of hard. I'm not going to lie. Okay. Same interface and jacks and things of that nature. If you have the MPC key or the software sense, okay. I'm not gonna lie. Let's give it up to Akai on their marketing real quick. Let's give it up to Akai on their marketing real quick. Let's just talk about this real quick before we get to anything. Here's the MPC new special edition. You know what I'm saying? The new special edition. Now, who's the MPC good for? Me and Daysun talked about this last night. Producers who don't have any MPC product and they just want to start with the flagship. Producers who want to upgrade from using the MPC 1 and the MPC Live, and producers who want that brand new and they want everything all in one. That's who it's good for. Who should pass on this? Me and Daysun and DC talked about this to literal nauseum, but it's true. Who should pass on this? Current MPC key owners or those producers who already have all the Akai software suite. The original MPC X owners, like myself, who already own the MPC X and all the software. And producers who always use the MPC X with their laptops and they don't use it as a standalone, so they really don't need the upgrades. They use it with their laptops. Great new things about the new MPC. The entire Akai software suite, it will be in the box when you purchase it. More RAM and SSD space for the standalone users. I think the standalone users are going to love it. Disappointments for current MPC owners like myself who have I have the key and I have the X, or other people who have multiple MPCs and have the software. There's no MPC 3.0 software. I'm really bummed about this. Secondly, there's no linear arrangement view that came from the Force, as we talked about in the last show. I'm super bummed with this. No extra new software capabilities that improve workflow. Like nothing new, that how to usually come up with a new piece of gear. Like Daysun, you said yesterday, and I know you'll elaborate later. There's something new software-wise that adds to the palette. And lastly, the disappointment, 90% of the same MPC X, the old black MPC X, just with 2 extra gigs of RAM and a larger internal SSD. Final thoughts, will this be the only new MPC X hardware MPC upgrade for this year? Is this just a special release edition for the 35th anniversary, or will there be other hardware releases? And my last area, which I'm warning Akai about, will Native Instruments or Roland release a new drum machine competitor to the MPC? I strongly believe that's the case. Daysun, tell me how you feel. Oh man, your phone service. The phone service is being like, but go ahead, you were saying?
Not being faithful to me. So what I want to say is that it looks like they wrapped basically the X in a new shiny colorway.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, like, what new are we really getting? You know what I mean? What new are we getting from this device? For it being a collector's edition or something like that, I think that's really good. But in terms of, just more, let me say this. I think you had to make the flagship. So, but I think some of the features for what we're getting, it's just not, if you already got an X, it's not worth it. And, this is what we talked about. Because, and someone made a statement, they said, all you got to do is hook it up to a computer. And after you do that, you basically have all the storage and all the capacity and all the things that you need. So sorry for the dinging in the background.
You're traveling, brother. And anybody watching should not hate because everybody's on the road doing their thing. So don't continue, brother.
Yeah. So I think I'll tell you this, Akai, if you gave it to me, I'll take it.
Oh, you better preach. You better preach, Akai. Listen, Akai, we are not dumping on you. We're talking from people who own the Key and the X or the different MPC products, and things of that nature. This will be great. Like if there was somebody who never had an Akai piece of gear, I would suggest get this flagship. I would suggest if they never had Akai before. I can't hear your phone's on mute. Go ahead.
But the other thing about it is, from a business perspective, you got to look at it this, you have different products, if you own a business, you're going to have different products and different things you want to offer people. I think this is for your higher end customer. This is for the Jermaine Dupri's. This is for the big time producers. We talked about it. I'm not going to say everything I said last night.
Oh, for sure. We're not going to do that for sure. We're not. Continue. Because I'm not.
But this right here, listen, with the recession here, being almost $2,500, that's a nice chunk of cash to dwell out or to shell out when you can just go get a computer. Or, you got to think about your options. But it depends on who wants to be hardware, But I also got to look at it like this. You have other products such as the MPC Live. You have the Live 2. You have all these other products. And I got to say, some of the stuff that we just go get an SB404. I hate to say it like that. $500 to $600, you get some of the same capabilities. You can get you a nice SD card. You got 16 gigs of RAM inside of it already internally. It's it's a nice competitor. I don't hate. I gotta say what I feel. And not bashing the product, because I'm telling you, it's pretty, it's nice, it looks good. I'm gonna play devil's advocate for a moment. It really looks good. Especially if you're into production, who doesn't want an MPC?
That's a fact.
Who does not want an MPC? Like I said, Akai, if you want to give it to me, I'll take it. I'll promote it like nobody else. But I'm not sucking up. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to be real about it at the same time. But I'm just saying, when you look at the specs, I feel like a lot of X owners may feel a little slighted. But I hear from, when you listen to the things in the comments that a lot of people are saying that own an X, they're like, I really don't want to upgrade. It's not worth the upgrade. And that's what we're hearing in the blogs and seeing in the blogs.
But let's talk about the specs real quick. You want to go through the specs?
All right, let's go through the specs.
All right. I'm on a Sweetwater's page. It's $24.99. All right. Beautiful. It's sexy looking. I'm not going to hold you because I'm a gear nut. But let's look at the specs. Right here, celebrating 35 years of beat excellence. Intuitive control meets limitless depth. This literally looks like the beginning of the promotional marketing scheme for the X. It is software as a hardware. Again, if you have an X, you've seen this before. Command HQ for your entire rig. Again, it's the same outputs as the X. It comes down to the sounds, same output with the X, but it says, however, if you're looking for inspiration, you only need to dive into the massive 10 gigs Vault library sound. That really came with the original X. SD card, fire up with the latest firmware. And again, what they consider the latest firmware is the MPC 2.0. Wish you had a 3.0. And then to the specs. Let's go. Complete standalone dial, same thing in the X. 10-inch multi-screen, same thing with the X. They said 16 velocity pads. Yeah, that's the same thing with everything. 48 gigs of internal storage, which is great, and extra hard drive support. So again, as the MPCX owner myself, we always put a new SSD in an MPCX. That's number one. But here's the addition: 4 gigs of RAM, recurring firmware updates for plugins. Here's the plugin suite that comes with it. It's right here. I'm highlighting it. Hype, Selena, Odyssey, Mellotron, half speed, Doodai, Clipper, stutter, diffuser, delay, vocal tuner, vocal doubler, and harmonizer. It says MPC drum and keyboard group engine enhancements such as a Kai Pro sample tail, dedicated pitch envelope. This is again from the last software upgrade. I'll say this, $2,400, right, for the special edition. Now let's look at the Black X that I have. $22.99. $22.99. So we're going from $2,500. It's only $200. Now, as an X user, I'm gonna say this. As a person who has this version right here, I don't like me spending $2,500 is ridiculous. My wife will beat me down. Let's talk about that. I'm not doing it, right? Number two, I already have this. And I got the MPC key that has all the software suite. You know what I'm saying? So I got that. I got the software suite. I got all that already. If you have owned the MPC-X and you own an MPC key like me, this isn't for you. But if you own an MPC-1, I think, and you really want to get to the big league, like the big, and have everything in it, and you don't own the software, I think it's a perfect go. Did you see Jermaine Dupri's video that he posted up a little bit? Let's go through that real quick. See Jermaine Dupri's video regarding this. Come on, Jermaine Dupri. Let's see what he's talking about. You know he's gonna make some fire on this. Let's see what he's talking about.
I learned something new to go into the next project that I didn't do in MP, but I learned it inside the process of making whatever. Something in the 3000 pumps the beat out harder. Now, I don't know what that could be, but I just know when I used to hit the beat on the 3000, it just sounded so much louder, and it sounded like it had so much more force behind it.
But here's my question. Did they upgrade audio enhancements? Let's see if JD says this.
Made my R&B records sound like rap records. Okay, so let's go back in here.
Okay, same thing we can do on the X. Again, I'm talking from the MPC X owner's perspective. I can do the same thing on the X. Well, go ahead.
In the past, a lot of things that I wanted to do, I would have to find a way that I would figure out how to trick the drum machine to doing it. These seem like they have answered all of my callings, and all of my trickery that I have tried to do doesn't need to be done. So for me, that's just a breath of fresh air, and it allows me to stay on the drum machine for hours.
Again, I love Akai, and I have been an Akai owner since the 90s. This is no shade to Akai. But if you already got the X and got the software suite, I don't see the upgrade, unless you're into the colorway, like real talk. But let's move further.
Of how the tune is on the 808, and the beat is doing this thing. You have to have this in order for that to sound like that. The very first
Let me rewind that.
thing, you have to have, because of how the tune is on this for the longest. Because like the way that Sexual Healing sounds, it's because of how the tune is on the 808, and the beat is doing this thing. You have to have this in order for that to sound like that.
And I think he's talking about the effects that came with the previous MPC 2.0 update and the effect suite that comes with it. But again, if you have the key and you have the X, the key meaning the software suite and all the plugins, and the X, then this isn't for you. But if you don't, and you don't have none of it, I think you should buy it. But let's see what else he says.
Looking at this new 35th edition, anniversary edition of the MP, it makes me proud to know that I saw the original, and I worked on the original, and I actually made a hit with the original drum machine.
JD, you've made millions of hits with the original. Let's not downplay your skills.
I can't wait to make one with this one.
And he will, but he will. But how do you feel about that? JD has made diamond hits with this.
I really appreciate JD. I feel like he's I don't care what any, still an underrated producer and record maker. But what's on top of your head? What's on top of your head?
Work hard, stay humble.
No. What's on top of your head?
New York.
You got a symbol on it.
You said what?
What's on top of your head? It has the NY symbol on it.
Yeah, New York. You know the vibes, New York. I'm New York all day, through and through. You heard? Sorry, go ahead. You got me hyped.
You got a cap.
Oh, you got jokes. You done went there. But hold on. You think? Real talk. Let's be respectful, and I'm gonna start it off. You don't have to join this flame rant. All right. Right now we're in a Khalif wins, keeping it 100 rant.
Yeah.
Akai, we love you. We've been customers for decades. I haven't been a customer for years, for decades. Let's talk about that. You gotta do something for existing MPCX and MPC key owners. You gotta add something. Like, you gotta give us something. Like, let's say you reverted and created an MK2 of the one, or MK3 to the live, or just extra software. I have an X for this. Is a conversation for the X owners and people who own the software. You gotta do something for us, fam. Like, real talk. You gotta do something for us, fam. I love you, Akai. Again, this is the views that are expressed by Khalif Wins do not reflect Daysun, Civil Days Music, and or Dccarsonmusic. You gotta do something. If we own the X and we own the software already, please do something for us. Please, like software-wise. You know what I would like, Kai? I said it before. Give us the linear arrangement view update in the software. Give us that. Come up with 3. You know what? Come up with a 3.0 software. That's what I'm begging, Akai. Please come out with a 3.0 software with the linear arrangement view. Please add, you know, some sort of newer effects. Again, I'm not one of these producers like, oh my God, I'm never satisfied. I'm not talking from a context of a producer who never had an X. I got an MPCX. I paid $2,300 for it a few years ago. I got an MPC key, which last June I paid $2,000 for. So let's do the math. That is literally $4,300 I've invested in your company. All I'm asking for is take the linear arrangement view from the Force and smack it into the X. This is just for people who own the X, for people who own the Live, for people who own. Give us something if we don't want that. I appreciate you for the 35th anniversary. We appreciate your service, but please, for people who own the X and the software suite and the key already, can you please give us linear arrangement view? I'm sorry, and again, the views expressed by Khalif Wins do not reflect Civil Days Music channel, but keep it real.
The comments that you're saying also apply to people who own the one, who own the original Live, who own the Live 2 as well. You know, we understand product marketing, you understand product positioning. You know, you understand it. I'm a business major, so I understand it. But, you know, in this day and age, people are looking at worth, they're looking at value. We are the new market. People aren't really marketed like the independent producer. You know, people aren't looking at the big studio producers anymore, or they're looking at we're the consumers. So as a consumer, the consumer is looking at what kind of quality can you get out of the product that you're purchasing, because the consumer is now a hobbyist. The consumer is also a person that's trying to release independent albums. The consumer is trying to find the best way that they can put their music out there. And why not do it with such a prestigious legacy product? Who doesn't love the MPC? I got turned on by the MPC when I saw Mac 10's album cover, and he had that MPC 2000 on that.
Oh man, what happened to his phone? What happened to his phone? We'll bring it back up. In the meantime, let me get some comments up in here. Nerd Corp says it doesn't make sense even flashback synthesizers have extra voices. That's a fact. That's a great addition. That's a great addition. He also says disappointed. No Wi-Fi like the keys. Yeah, all of them have Wi-Fi capability. Let me bring them back on. You were saying, brother? Go ahead.
Yeah, no, they got Wi-Fi. That's one of the Bluetooth and Wi-Fi. I think what they're doing, which makes sense in a way, they're bringing their flagship product up from where it was back to current status, so it really is the flagship now. But I think on the other side, just to play devil's advocate, I think Akai has more that may be coming out. You know, looking at it from a business perspective, looking at other companies like Apple, you know, looking at other companies that like Sony, when they release a PlayStation, they'll give you the product, but then eventually you'll get more updates and things of that nature. You know, especially when you want to draw more people in. I want to see what they have in store for us, because we know 3.0 is coming. Maybe they just wanted to work out some of the bugs. And then,
real quick, do we though? Do we though?
I see where you're going. Yeah.
But do we though? Is MPC 3.0 coming out? Like, do we though? Real talk, do we?
Anything that's, well, I know you have the group of people that are like, I don't want a new set of bugs. You know, I
I
want
mean, I'd rather have bugs and new capabilities with the software than just dealing with I got an X and a key.
yeah.
Just Kai, just upgrade the software to 3.0. Like real talk, just give us that. Like you know what I'm saying? But continue. I don't think I personally. I'll be honest with you. If they didn't release the 3.0 with this new software, I mean with this new upgrade, with the launch of this, because remember we talked about this last night.
Right.
Anytime a Kai releases a new product, they for the most part they have the software upgrade with the new product. The fact that it didn't come with 3.0 says a lot, but do you really think they're going to release 3.0 in the next 3 months?
I think sometimes. All right, so let's look at it from a music uh, perspective. When Nas had his album done, it went out on the street, and when you listen to Steve Stout talk about it, he said he had to redo his whole album because it went out on the street. I think with people checking all the websites, looking at the federal government websites and getting all the information, they threw everybody for a curve, which I thought it was smart. Honestly, I got to say, because everybody's like, "Where's the XL? Where's the XL?" And they said, "This is the 35th edition. This is a special edition." Smart, very smart, because I feel like people messed up the product because
Oh,
everybody.
speaking of that, look, somebody just said what you said before. Akai is acting like Apple.
Yeah, yeah.
Yo.
Year they come out with a new product. Every year you're like, it's the Apple 15. You're like, well, what are you doing? We got a new bezel on the camera. It's the same thing. But that's just the way of business today. We're gonna give you're a beta tester. We're gonna give you piece of it and piece of it. We'll just keep updating along the way.
Now, real quick before you finish that thought, Akai, Andy Mack, or anybody if you're watching, we are decade-long users of Akai, and this is not a negative rant. Like Daysun said, we appreciate the 35th anniversary. If you want to give it to us, great, and we will show the great things. We are not saying this piece of gear is trash. Let's talk about that. We are saying that for existing MPCX owners and that also own a key or MPCX owners that have the software suite, we would like something, just at least given to us with the launch. You know what I mean? We're not saying we feel the banding. We're just saying that we're speaking positively. I'm being honest with you, but we have to be honest in our positivity. We can't sit here and act like it's not a slight, no, it's actually a major disappointment for current gear owners that already own your gear.
Yeah.
Because when the rumors of the MPC XL came out, they were like this and that and this and that and this. And we, the couple episodes ago, we're in the 9th episode. This episode 9. We've been talking for like a many episodes, like, hey, add this, add that. Daysun had his input. DC had his input. Big shout out to DC in the check, and he's like, watching, bro. I see you. We all gave suggestions. So Akai, don't look at this like we're being negative. And I'm a big firm believer of this. Successful companies hear solutions and they don't turn their face up to people who have critique. I repeat, successful companies hear people's solutions and implement it on their line. Akai, great job on the 35th anniversary. I'm not crapping on it. I have an X, I have a key. I would have loved software 3.0. Because guess what, Daysun, if they would have launched today, and let's say who's to say they're not going to do it, but if they would have launched a new MPC software update and it had linear arrangement review, it had the things that you said, that DC said, that I said, and it had additions for existing owners, then I'm like, great.
I'm gonna get it.
I'm gonna get it. We're still gonna put like this. Even if we don't get the new special edition X for the people who already own the X, if you guys say, oh, we're releasing 3.0, you think we're not gonna get it? We gonna get it.
So here's my question: when you read through the specs, do you see any difference in the audio any audio enhancements in terms of the old X?
I'm looking. Well, let me just share the screen right quick. I'm literally going to share the screen from the Sweetwater page of the X that I have. I don't see anything different. Maybe me going over it. Well, let me share the screen. Look at this. You see this? Intuitive control meets limitless depth. But when you go and you look at the newer, this is the older edition. It's like copy and paste this part, basically the same part. It's the software as the hardware. Didn't we just look that over, right? They said the same things. Command HQ for your entire rig. The same things. Right or wrong. It comes down to the sound. They basically copied and pasted everything from the X description, fire up with the latest firmware. And now we look at the specs. A complete standalone dial that untethers from your PC. Everything you love about sampling and beat making on the board delivers the... Mind you, this is the old X. Look at the old X. Reoccurring firmware updates for the plugins. Same plugins for with the exception of the MPC key plugins. Drum group engine, same thing. There's nothing different. Now, this is the old X. Let me get to the new X. This is the old X. I just read off the specs of the old X. Come on. Now, let me get to the new X. Let's go to the specs. It's just $200 more for... Look what it says. Intuitive control means limitless depth. Is it software? Is it hardware? You see what I'm saying? Command HQ for your entire rig. It always comes down to the sounds. Fire up your flow with the latest firmware. Bro, it's the same. They copied and pasted it, except when it comes to reoccurring firmware, there's added plugins and things of that nature. But it's literally a copy and paste from the X, new colorway, 4 gigs of RAM. This is the only thing that's different. 48 gigs of internal storage, which is not a bad thing, and 4 gigs of RAM.
It's an improvement.
It's an improvement. Listen, I'm not saying it's trash. I'm saying if I already own this, let me go back. If I already own this, and it has 2 gigs of RAM, less of hardware storage, and it's $2,300 I spent on this years back. And some places have it for cheaper. They have it for $17.99, whatever the case is. If I already own this and I've owned this for years and I got the software, because I think they're phasing it out. Look what it says right here. Only 2 left in stock, order soon. So they're about to get rid of their stock, right? But I don't need the colorway. I don't need the internal RAM because I got a laptop. But that's literally... again, we got to call a spade a spade. We got to keep it real. Like, if I got an X and I got the software suite, we don't personally need this. All I'm saying is software upgrade. But literally, I'm kind of mad with the marketing that they literally copied and pasted. Maybe it's a Sweetwater, I'm not dissing Sweetwater, but maybe it's a Sweetwater thing where they copied and pasted the same marketing from the old X, plopped it on the new X, the special edition, and just added the 4 gigs of RAM and the 48 internal storage. Because that's what it's looking like on the specs.
Yeah. I know coming from those that have a 1, maybe a Live 2 or something like that. I think so you got to look at it like this. There's a lot of people that came on board when the Live 2 came out, when the gold version and the retro edition came out.
Mm-hmm.
I think they're looking at it the same way. There's a lot of people that have an X, but what can we give those newer people that, may want to transition? Because you got to think, it's a lot of people that's switching over. If you when I listen to a lot of FL producers, and, if they know someone that has an MP, the person that has the MP is always trying to get them to switch over to the MP.
Oh, so, look at this. Hold on. Look at this great comment. They could have added the Black Line audio upgrades. Oh my God.
Yeah.
Nerd Corp. Thank you. Everybody follow Nerd Corp now. I hope I'm saying it right. But bro, if they would have did that, then I would have been like, you know what? Hey, honey, I'm gonna have to sell I would sell my gear if they did that. Like, because the outputs and the upgrades, that's fire. That's super fire. But continue in your thought. Sorry.
Yeah, but there's another company that did something similar but didn't offer any upgrades. At least this company, Akai, offered an upgrade, instead of just giving you a bunch of different colors.
Yeah, I appreciate that.
So, I just think that this is really for someone who they're looking at it and they're saying, you know what, I want to get MPC.
Mm-hmm.
Not for the people that might have already had one. I'm not going to say it's not. I'm going to say I think they're just looking at either the people that just want a collector's edition or the people that really love this and say, you know what, I'm going to trade in what I got. I'm going to upgrade. Or those that have been waiting in the wings. They got their one, and they say, you know what, I done got some more coins. I'm gonna go ahead and get this new X.
But real talk, we love Akai. We love Akai, and both you and I can sell gear and get this for $2,500. But it's not worth the gear flip, in my opinion.
No.
I got an X, I got a key. If you got an X and you got the software suite, you don't need this. But let's see what the streets are saying. Let's see what the streets is talking about. This Masada put up a post, and here was the comments to Masada post. He said, the MPC X Special Edition is here. What do you think? Somebody said, now go and try buying one instead of making a video. Oh, the hate. Stop hating. Yo, people need to stop hating. He says, Gene Kelly says, for $2,500, the only difference is nothing that can be bought at other shops. Very pass on this one. He said, more RAM plus plugins plus new colors. Why not if somebody wants it? Personally, I like the black-red look more. You said that, Daysun. You said that. Somebody says, people are still going to buy because everyone wants the newest toy, and Akai knows this, and so why not just move a few things around and add a feature or two, and bam, $2,500 a pop for 2 extra gigs of RAM. Easy pass. Somebody says, simple, if you don't have an X, get this one. If you have an X, keep what you have. That's the bar of the day regarding this. Somebody said, I'll stick with my Live 2. There's absolutely nothing about this X that appeals to me. Maybe the extra RAM memory. I already have most of the newer plugins. Instead of upgrading their existing software, like adding more options and editing for audio tracks, they released this. Yo, that is a fact. Akai, listen to your people. We are your people. And again, Akai, we love the 35th anniversary. We love Jermaine Dupri to the fullest. We're not saying this piece of gear is trash. We're talking from the context of MPC owners that really don't see the upgrade use. Let me read another comment. He says, hate the retro look, honestly. I'm not going to lie, I disagree. The retro look is sexy. Reminds me of MPC 3000, but neither here nor there. He said, back in the 90s, everybody complained about Akai. Okay, we're not going to do that. Somebody said, after reading the comments, I'll just keep my Akai MPK Mini. You're wildin'. Anyway, somebody says, I love the retro look, but not on this machine. Again, those are simple answers and stuff like that, but real talk, if there is no reason for me to upgrade to that color wave or just that whole thing unless I'll say this. If you have ran your MPC X into the ground and made tons of beats on it and you just want to upgrade, do what you want with your wallet. If I made, and I'm going to be honest with you, let's say I made 20 beats a day for like, when the MPC X came out 7 years ago, 5 years ago, if I'm really like, if my gear is worn down, I'd buy it. I'd buy the new special edition. If your gear is worn down, you're like, you know what, I need something new because my pads are shot. I've touched that touch screen for years and I need to upgrade. This is perfect. But none of us can tell you what to do with your wallet. But Akai, please release upgrades to the MPC 3 the software and make it 3.0 and help your current MPC user base. We beg you, because here's the warning that I put up on the final thoughts, and I'm going to post it back up again. Will Native Instruments and Roland release a new drum machine competitor to the MPC? My opinion, yes. My opinion, yes. And here's the thing. Yes, we love Akai. Listen, I'm in my 40s. I've been trooping for you, Akai, and Daysun's been trooping for you for decades, not years. If Native Instruments came out with a Machine Studio Plus that had a better CPU, more RAM, and adaptable SSD that you can put in it, and they put the complete instruments actually in the standalone unit versus little versions, it's gonna be problems for anybody that has an MPC.
Yeah, and a Machine Plus.
Yeah, you got you. The first of all, the Machine Plus, and you can speak to this because you got it. The Machine Plus was a decent attempt, but no cigar. But you can see the possibilities of what Native Instruments can do if they really learned their lesson.
If they took the concept that Akai is using with their standalone drum machine and did that, they would have a gold mine, because their sounds alone, their synths, is just, I think here's the difference. That I think that non-destructive chopping, Native doesn't have that. So controlling that CPU in one box is going to be a problem. You have to have certain kind of workarounds, but who's to say that they haven't fixed that?
Mm-hmm.
We just have to wait and see. So I think room is left for someone to dominate the market. We just have to wait and see.
Let me bring back this question real quick. Do you think that Akai is releasing that 3.0 software this year?
In my humble opinion, I hope so. I hope so. I hope this. I think that would be the. I think that would be the wildfire when we start seeing what they're offering. If there's going to be new synths, new capabilities, new effects, new things like that, I think that will, and and new ease of use.
Mm-hmm.
Because I was reading through my former comments when I was on Instagram last night, and someone stated that they felt that the software was kind of bulky. You
Bulk.
know,
Yeah, go ahead.
I was like, okay. They were just saying like it's kind of they're used to like when you got Ableton, it's smoother. You got other DAWs, it's smoother, and they felt that you know. I try to get people to also understand that it's not really a DAW; it's more like a VST, but still. But I think that's the I want it. I want it. If
No, I
they,
want it for sure too.
I want to see what it can do and take to the. There's another guy. He was talking about the Octatrack, and he was talking about the difference between the Octatrack and the MPC. And he said, "Here's the difference." He said the MPC does. He's like when you put your sample in, it has all these great things for when you put your sample in. And he
Mm-hmm.
said, but after that, after you made your beat, you kind of lost, and they were talking about mixing and things of that nature. They said you can mix better in the Octatrack than you can in the MPC. So maybe they can, improve their mixing suite. Maybe it's things that they can improve to make the process better. But you also got those producers. They're like, I'm just gonna put this in and I'm gonna make it bang, and that's it, and I'm gonna sell it.
Yeah,
So
I'll say this to anybody that would try to troll and say something dumb like, "Oh my God, people are never satisfied. Oh my God, you always have something to complain about." It's not that. We are MPC owners. We are MPC users. And for anybody, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I said, people don't understand when you shell out 1,400, when you shell out 2,500, when you shell out $3,000, that product better work.
Mm-hmm.
You're a stakeholder. You're not just somebody who just because someone said that to me one time. It was like, oh, just make beats and shut up. And I was just like, yo, when I'm a computer person, when I invest in something, because I'm investing in it, I want it to work. If it don't work, then what the company has promised has not come to fruition. So when you're invested in a product because you want to get your best out of that product and you want to use that product, you want it to perform to the height of its capability. And
Mm-hmm.
then when you're associated with a brand, when you have a liking for a brand, you want that brand to succeed. You want that brand to supersede
Mm-hmm.
because you feel like you're a part of that brand. So when people make these comments, I want to hear their beats. I want to hear what they're doing. Because I don't understand that type of comment. I'm vested in this. And people may say, well, you're a gear nerd. Well, I just have to be a gear nerd. I could care less. But I'm
Mm-hmm.
gonna make but I want this company to succeed. I want all companies to succeed because I'm invested in this product. Who has not wanted an MPC? If you're from my generation, who has not wanted an MPC? You've sat back and you've seen that, you see Premiere, you see all these dope proofs. That's with any product. If I saw Easy Mo and Pete Rock on the SP12 and they were making some dope beats, I'm gonna want the SP12. If or the SP1200. If I see Alchemist working on the ASR10 or Knots and they're making a dope beat, I'm gonna want that because I see the potential of what could be done. There's great potential with this product, great potential with this brand, and we just want a piece of that great potential. I dropped the mic on that one.
Great. So Akai just updated their site and they have the specs, and I just went to the release notes. But before I do that, here's a comment. Nerg's Audio says they had two choices: crush the competition with innovation. Didn't I just say this? Like, I've been saying this, yo. He said they had two choices: crush the competition with innovation or leave the lane open for competitors. Look how many
Yep.
new companies are jumping into the sampler business. Yo, Nerg Corp, we've been saying this for so long. That's it. But since Akai updated their page, let me see the release notes on the new software because of the SE, the firmware update. So here's the new firmware that's released on the MPC Special Edition page. You see this release notes for the Akai MPC X Special Edition. Stability and reliability, MIDI path, same MIDI note can now be played from more than one controller with the note filter enabled. That's cool. Plug-in effects and new vocal harmonizer. Note parameter value increments made from the control surface. Plug-in instruments, OP, F4, LFO delay. Hold up, but this is for all of them? So hold on, this firmware update is brand new. It's for the Key 61, the MPC 1, the MPC Live. Oh, brother, look at this. Thank you, Akai.
Yeah.
So for you, when you get home, what we can do, we can upload the new vocal harmonizer. That is for, look at the top, it says this release is for MPC X Special Edition, Key 61, MPC 1, Live 2, MPC X, and MPC hardware. Hold on, let me go. OPF LFO delay. That's beautiful. LFO delay parameters now respond correctly to different modulation sources. Canceling the software update via USB will no longer generate a pop-up that claims file not found. And new sample edit features with this update. Performance have been improved when using the touchscreen to zoom into waveforms. That's good. In track edit and sample edit mode. Converting slices to a drum track no longer creates multiple undo events. Chopping the sample into the specific number of regions now makes those slices accurately. Oh, I like that. New improvements on the sample looper, assigning a sample or resample to a pad has been repaired. Step sequence, when adding a new parameter, the correct pad focus will be shown. Wi-Fi internet units will now shut down correctly when shut down immediately after establishing a network correctly. Oof. I'm not going to lie. This new update, I shut my mouth. We get a vocal harmonizer and plug-in, and we get an instrument. I'm not going to lie. Thank you, Akai. Tell me how you feel about that, brother.
Well, last night I said they have to give us something. I said you just can't be a new hardware device. I knew they had to give us something because it just wouldn't make sense. I think it would really. I'm more relieved now. I'm.
Well, Akai, I like to formally apologize for saying you're not giving something to existing users because the new update gave us a new plugin, vocal harmonizer, and it gave us a new instrument, and I'm happy. Listen, they gave us a little something.
Yeah. I feel better.
I feel better.
I do wish what's the Flex Beat? I wish Flex Beat was on that.
Yeah, but it's so new that I think they'd be like, listen, let's just get the money out of Akai Grosbeat's version as soon as possible. You know what I'm saying? But again, ladies and gentlemen watching this, hold on. Tracklight Productions had a comment. He says, Akai fell off when they screwed Roger Lynn and Newmark got involved. They just kept repackaging. No, I don't agree with that. I don't agree with that. I believe that Akai didn't fall off. Like Jermaine Dupri said, and again, let's default to the person with Diamond selling records.
Yeah.
It's a great tool. My X is a great tool. My Key is a great tool. You can make hits on it. I don't think Akai fell off, but the comment from Nerd Corp is they had two choices: crush the competition with innovation or leave the lane open for competitors. Look how many new companies are jumping into the sampler business. I think that is the key. And Akai, They said, and let's go to the site. They said something I'm really interested in when you go to the site for the new release, the special edition. Look what it says here. All right, let me go down to the bottom. It says, celebrating, hold on, let me go right to the bottom. It says, get ready for the MPC Cook-Up series. This is going to be interesting. Why do I feel that this is going to be interesting? Mind you, this is on the AkaiPro.com site. This is going to be interesting because they're going to show new ways to utilize the MPC, which means new additions possibly and new things of that nature. I'm happy for those people who don't have an X. This is great. Here's the stuff that comes with it, the MPC plug-in instruments that come with it. If you got the X and the Key, you already have this. If I got, but Hype synthesizer, Mellotron, the same things. Okay, great. This is great for somebody who doesn't have an X, award-winning insert plugins. Yeah, I mean, this ain't, listen, nobody's saying this is trash. Nobody's saying this is trash. But hold on, Tracklight Productions says something. He says, yeah, you can make hits with any DAW nowadays, but my point is they aren't innovating anymore. I'm not going to lie. To a particular degree, you're absolutely right. The innovation is slightly off. I'm not going to hold you, Tracklight Productions. U.S. speaking facts. You can make hits with any DAW, but let's be honest. And mind you, Tracklight, if you got an MPC, put it in the comments. Listen, and if you want to come up in the stream and talk a little bit about what you mean so we can really get to it, so I don't have to wait for your comment, I'm putting the link in the comments for you to join and talk about it. Please, no foul language or no foul nothing. But I think, yes, you can make hits with any DAW. Yes, you know, but an MPC is different, bro. It's a different energy. It's a different vibe. It's different than just clicking with a mouse. I'm not going to hold you. I'm not going to hold you at all. But if you want to make comments on that before we get off the stream, that's fine. In the meantime, yeah, so everybody watching this, if you're an MPC-X owner or you're an owner of the key, are you going to buy the new MPC Special Edition? People who have MPC-1s or Lives MK2s, are you going to buy the new MPC-X edition? Please tell us why in the comments. Lastly, Makai, thank you for giving us all of the regular MPC-X, MPC Live, the one, I don't want to call it the regular, but the people who have the gear that's not the newest right now, the key is one of the newest. Thank you for giving us the plug-in instruments and the new instruments and things of that nature. We appreciate those 2 plug-in instruments and that update with the release software notes. We totally appreciate that. You know, but are you going to buy the new MPC-X Special Edition? That's the question I have to everybody. Please tell us in the comments. We want to hear a great constructive conversation. Thanks to everybody that comment. Big shout out to DC Carson and check-in. Big shout out to Nerd Corp in this section. Big shout out to Tracklight Productions. The MPC-X edition is here. It's $2,500. It has the whole software suite in it. If you don't have the software suite, I think this is a great buy. If you've never had an MPC-X, I think this is a great buy. If you've beat down your MPC-X for making so much beats and you want to upgrade, I think it's an excellent buy. But if you have the MPC-X, the software suite already, or if you have the MPC-X and MPC key with the software, I don't think it's for me, and it might not be for you. But again, it's your wallet. Your wallet decides. Before we go off, Tracklight Production says, I got the Studio Black, the Ren, and the 3K. Brother, you got the 3K. Salute to all MPC 3000 owners. I consider that royalty, and that's a beautiful thing, Tracklight Production. You got the 3K, then that's magnificent. In the meantime, if anybody got comments, please put them in there. If you want to support my channel or love my comment, please hit me up on the Cash App or hit us in the link in bio. As I said before on my last show, please, if you want sound packs for your current MPCs or current gear, you can go to link in bio, invest on this one store, propacks.bandcamp.com. There's 3,808s, there's 4,000 one-shot blues and things of that nature. Also, Civil Days Music has a fire gorilla drum kit, the link in bio. You know what I'm saying? At his site, it's in the link in the description. He has great drum kits, great piano chops, great sounds, and he has more packs dropping. Again, this is for the MPC users or the people considered an MPC. I think it's a great investment if you've never had an MPC. That's a fact. I think it's an awesome investment. If you do have the MPC and not the software instruments, I think it's a great investment. You know what I mean? But please invest in these packs to add to your arsenal. The both of these stores, links in bio right now. Daysun, do you have any closing thoughts?
No, not at this moment. Well, I'm glad they offered us something, you know. Makes it feel a little bit better. It is a nice looking product. You know, I can talk about, you know, we can talk about all the things that, you know, we want and we desire, but it still is something that I consider to be, it's a nice product. If you don't have an MPC-X, this might be the thing for you at this moment. It's just not for me, price-wise or things of that nature. I ain't trying to get bashed over the head. But I'm gonna leave it right there. I'm gonna go home, do my firmware update. After this firmware update, I'm gonna see where it goes after that.
Well, thank you, brother, for joining. Thank everybody for being here. Everybody have a great day. You know, just have a great day. Thanks for welcome to the Making Better Track Show. Please invest in SOUNDPACKS in the link in bio from Civil Days Music and from the ProPack Show. Thank you, everybody, for coming to the show. Have a great day. Tell us how you feel about the new MPC-X Special Edition in the comments. Peace, and we're out.